So I hang out in a lot of networking groups. I talk to a lot of different people at a lot of different times a day, and I hang around a lot of streams as I continue to build up my community. But do I ever get tired of it? Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? Rybommy Teacher Announced, and I'm here with a somewhat interesting topic for you and an interesting video. So, my good friend Denisio asked me quite a while ago, and a few other people have asked me this question since. It's all about how being drained mentally. So the message reads, and shoutouts to Denisio for allowing me to use this message. I did actually reach out to him before recording this video, so I can use it. He asked, "You've built a community and made friends across many different networks and discords. Does it ever just get draining to you? Like you just want to say fuck it and leave it? On one hand, it's enjoyable being with so many friends, but at the same time it's exhausting mentally. For the past couple of weeks I've sat contemplating deleting Discord as it's the biggest distraction, but it's also the platform that keeps me sane like a double-edged sword. I was curious how you deal with it all." So, he's partially right in what he's saying, but he's also kind of a little bit like over the top, and I kind of want to explain what I mean by that, because it's true, I'm in a lot of different discords. I also work, of course, for Nerdoking. I'm actually the head of recruitment over there now. So yeah, obviously I do a lot of networking. I spend a lot of my time with other people, engaging with other people of all kinds of different levels, different games and stuff like that, and in multiple different Discord servers. There's a lot of things to talk about here with regards to the amount it actually does, but in order for me to kind of explain a lot of what goes on, I want to throw a keyword here into the mix, and that is value added. Now, this is a term that's often used in business and is something that is often decided, or a factor in deciding whether to maximize profit, but it works in any kind of streaming context as well. Because a lot of the time, networking will give you some kind of additional value. That might be additional viewership, that might be new followers, might be meeting new streamers as to watch, but it can also be improving your skill set, which is something I've been doing a lot recently in the Falcone flock. That is a Discord server that I have a lot of respect for, not only because Falcone hosts is a great creator and a very supportive person, but there's a lot of other creators in that community that have got a lot of different ideas and a lot of things that you can try out, and also good points of advice, right? So this kind of thing happens an awful lot more. So in that sense, if you spend time in those kind of places, you've got a lot of value added coming in, so you don't really feel drained, you actually feel rewarded. So there's a different mentality to look at it here. Now look, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not active in all of the Discords I'm in. A lot of the Discords I'm in are like community Discords for my streamer friends, which generally speaking I tend to talk to them on stream, so I don't really talk too much in their Discords. The same as some of them don't necessarily talk in mine, for example, and things like that. It's a common occurrence, it's relatively standard. But in terms of like whether that drains me, no, not really. I've been in some bad Discords, believe you me. They do exist. No Discord is perfect, but yeah, generally speaking, that doesn't really drain me, and I think that's part of the reason why I survive. And I said this to Denisio privately as well, it's actually because of the friends I've made and like the people and stuff that I work with, that actually things don't necessarily drain me too much. Part of me streaming was actually to break down a lot of these barriers. I do have a social anxiety disorder, so stuff like that can really cause a problem. But yeah, the goal here was to kind of break down the values. So when I work with a lot of people, and obviously the community we've built up, there's over 170 people in my Discord server, nearly 800 people are following me on Twitch, right? So like I've got a lot of people around at this point, and I have a whole bunch of regular and very close support, and I've met a lot of great people, including Denisio, from doing all of this, so I don't think it gets as exhausting to me as it could be. But I also want to introduce another keyword, and this is something I think a lot of people really struggle to get into, and that's a routine. So, routine is kind of an important thing. Being able to understand how to use your day is actually a very hard concept for a lot of content creators. Now, look, I'm going to be honest with you. What I do is not entirely healthy. I suffer from insomnia, so I don't sleep all that much, which means that generally speaking, my mind works better when it's preoccupied with something, which means that my routine often has way more in it in a day than is healthy, okay? So, I'm not gonna say I'm a good example of this, but what I do in that time is I build a routine that actually factors in my insomnia and actually says, okay, let's do something different. So often what I'll do, I have a routine on my weekdays, days where 8 p.m. British summer time, all 5 days now, as of the time we're recording this video, I will be live. So that is an immediate point of routine. Generally speaking, in and around there, if I'm not setting up, I'll probably be planning a video or maybe recording a video, stuff like that. And then that will all be done, ready and raring to go. I've still got quite a lot of videos to do. I'm a little behind. And then after I'm done streaming, I eat food. Always eat after streaming. I think it's a very important thing. I think too many people kind of end stream and then they don't actually eat food. I actually also eat before I start stream. That just means I've got the energy to go for longer. I think too many people don't do that as well, and stuff like that. So that's always a thing to do. And then after that, after I've eaten food afterwards and stuff like that, I'll spend a few hours on Nerdo or, you know, in other streams, things like that, trying to meet new people, engage with new people and stuff like that, because it's an important way to go. And then after a few hours, I might stop, and if I can get some rest, I will. But if not, I'll be doing other stuff. And there's always time for people, right? It might often be like someone in my Discord's reached out to me, for example, needed someone to talk to, or, you know, things like that. These are commonplace in my community, so this is relatively normal. So, I think, honestly, I would say that there's two sides to this as well. Like, yes, I've gone through periods where I just cannot face being around people. That is part and parcel of my mental health, so, a lot of the time I've had to take time off, right? It was never this easy for me, especially when I first started. Like, when I first started and I didn't have all of this, I was having a hard time. I almost quit streaming 2 weeks in when I started because I didn't get anything and I felt like I was failing. But here we are 16 months later and I'm answering this question in a video, right? So it's a difficult one. What I would always say though to anyone that asks me, should I delete Discord for a while or whatever, I'd say no, okay? Because as much as it might seem like Discord is actually the distraction, sometimes you need that distraction. I like to call it distraction therapy, where sometimes when you're in an anxious state, just hang out at Discord for a bit, even if it's join a call with someone, you know, or like play a game in a group with people. I've been playing Among Us with some friends off screen as well as on stream lately, so things like that are a good way to kind of just take away from a lot of the stresses of the world. Now, it's important that Denny at the time actually was going through a lot of stuff mentally as well. He did actually mention that himself in his actual post. But yeah, I think it's very important to kind of establish like some kind of routine for yourself, some kind of like mental fortitude, and then that way it kind of becomes second nature, and then it doesn't exhaust you so much. So I'm kind of fortunate in that sense that yes, there are certain I don't want to call them disabilities, but there are certain issues that I have, you know, like my insomnia and like various other things, like my mental health conditions, that can actually really change the way you think. But at the same time, you can turn it into an advantage, and I think that's the hardest part to get over. And once you can get over a hurdle like that, you know, the amount of work you can do for someone, the amount of networking you can do for someone, you'd be surprised how impactful it can be, right? So I hope that I continue to have that impact. I've been very lucky since I've talked a lot more openly about my mental health that, you know, some of my community have come forward. They've opened up to me and stuff like that. And I hope that I can keep inspiring more people to do that. Because there's a lot that we can talk about, and there's so much more coming. So I'm really happy that I have the community I have, and I'm very grateful to the community I have for the amount of support I get. Because my mental health now is better than it's ever been. And it's only going to get better the longer this continues. So that's going to be all I have to say on this one. Obviously, if you have an opinion, definitely let me know. I'm definitely interested to hear what you have to say. But yeah, either way, guys, thank you all so much for watching. My name is Rybombi Teacher. Stay safe, stay awesome. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.